legal immigration must be restricted in the United States. Roy Beck, head of the Numbers USA organization, predicts with factual evidence that the United States of America continues to allow the same rate of legal immigrants into the country each year. By 2060, our population will be over 500 million people. A majority of that population growth will be due to the immense numbers of immigrants becoming United States residents each year. If United States government officials do not limit these rapidly growing numbers, cities such as Philadelphia will become impossible to live in. This massive immigrant population will not only severely overpopulate major cities, but also, in addition, exhaust extremely important government programs such as Medicare, unemployment, and Social Security. Furthermore, the already more publicized issue of illegal immigration also adds to the enormous United States of America population. With the rising interest to come to America from citizens of several countries, the amount of immigrants legally allowed to come to America is steadily increasing. This high demand to come to America directly translates to a higher legal immigration rate. With this growing immigrant population comes the severe crisis of overpopulation. Overpopulation is already an extremely out-of-hand problem in many parts of the world, such as India and China. At America's current rate of a mere 8.3 population increase annually, the U.S. will eventually overtake India and China as containing the largest population in the world. Moreover, a majority of these immigrants coming to America is from our already overcrowded cities such as New York, Los Angeles, Miami, and our very own Philadelphia. This percentage will only continue to grow as America pushes out of its recession, attracting more immigrants, and countries such as Mexico deal with internal problems. The overpopulation of our country will also put a heavy demand on our limited amount of natural resources, forcing America to look outside its boundaries. A major resource at high demand is oil. If we exhaust our supply of oil, we will be forced to support untrustworthy countries in the Middle East for oil. Paul Ehrlich, a United States demographic researcher, writes, quote, "The immigration issue is extremely complex and ethically difficult, but it must be faced. Equally daunting, after a decision on levels of immigration is made, is monitoring the flow and enforcing the quotas. Badly needed now is a wide-ranging discussion, first of population policy, then of immigration within the context of that policy. America wants to be known as a welcoming and globally friendly country, but the people of the United States need to start putting the needs of its own country before anything else." Alright, and I have a video. Roy Beck, like I said in the beginning of the speech, is head of this organization called Numbers USA, and he's for restricting legal immigration. So he shows by doing these presentations to randomly selected people, and this is a short clip, look like that. Oh my god.
Close the bubble.
Come on.
Did you say she was? Thank you.
What the heck?
Oh, come on. Alright, this is just a short clip.
There are some Americans who have very sincere feelings that we have to bring in immigrants in order to show our concern for the third world. Is immigration an effective tool? In this illustration, I use this gumball. This represents 1 million people is about what we take in a year in immigrants. This is not a small number because remember, this one gumball worth of immigration is driving every bit of this red. And each year, in our magnanimity, we try to rescue about this number from third world poverty. But how many people in the world are equally deserving of this kind of humanitarian concern on our part? Well, you've got to have some kind of benchmark, and I use Mexico. 25% of the immigrants in the 1980s came from Mexico. Depending on the value of the peso at the time, the average Mexican makes about 1/10 the amount of money that the average American makes. That's poor. I would say that's deserving of our compassion. But how many people in the world are more impoverished than the average Mexican? And the answer is 4,600 million people. 4.6 billion people in the world are more impoverished than the average Mexican.
So basically what he's showing is how America takes in, we feel, many Americans think that it's unethical that we limit immigration because we want to give people in countries such as Mexico a better chance to live. But by bringing in 1 million immigrants doesn't change anything. There's still so many impoverished people, not only in Mexico, but in other third world countries. So by taking in this small amount of people compared to the amount of impoverished people in all third world countries, we're not changing the world. It's not making a big difference. We're making a small difference. We should look for a bigger change, not a small change. Very good. In addition to the problem of overpopulation, there are many concerns about the exhaustion of extremely important government programs such as unemployment, Social Security, and Medicare. A majority of these new residents that come to America are exceedingly poor and are unable to find immediate work. That puts a burden on many government programs such as unemployment, which is in effect to aid many Americans in the tough economy. Since they are unemployed, hardworking taxpayers must support immigrants who become dependent on this monthly source of income. In addition, if this population trend continues, the amount of retired Americans will outnumber the working, exhausting any remaining Social Security funds the American government possesses. Theodore Roosevelt, during the 1930s and 1940s, enacted several of these government programs that successfully pulled America out of the Great Depression. However, if American citizens and government officials do not become aware of the harmful effect of these massive amounts of immigrants coming to their country, all of those government programs will be completely depleted and useless. Finally, not included in any of these stats and figures is the more publicized issue of illegal immigration. Illegal immigration contributes to the overpopulation of America, bringing approximately 8 million people each year, as well as depleting government programs. The media diverts people's attention towards illegal immigration, although legal immigration is equally as harmful. We are no longer in the same era as when millions of immigrants came through Ellis Island. We need to maintain the amount of people coming to America. The history of immigration in America gives a better understanding of the topic of immigration. Beginning in the 17th and 18th centuries, as few as 40,000 immigrants were coming to America per year. In 1820, immigration began to increase gradually, with thousands of Europeans entering America. By 1875, the first U.S. immigration laws were put into place. In the last 5 years, nearly 10 million immigrants came to the United States, more than in any other 5-year period in the nation's history. In conclusion, the United States government needs to make stricter requirements in order to come to America. In addition, we need to encourage immigrants who do fit the requirements allowing them to come to America to find work immediately. Without these restrictions, our country will become overpopulated, we will exhaust all of our crucial government services, and we will only continue to add to the problem of illegal immigration. Allowing people who yearn for a better life to come to America is important, but we as current inhabitants of this country need to think about the future for the sake of our kids and grandchildren.